Hey guys.
Hello.
Well, this will be pretty quick. You guys want to introduce yourself? Let us know if you want to if you're running.
Oh, we're getting started already?
Yeah, and unless you want to do something else. I'm one of the volunteers, so I just tried to get things going. But if one of you guys is, or you have something you want to say,
Okay. Are you participating?
I will put my name forward as a default if nobody else is wanting to do it.
Hi, my name is Lucas. I'm just interested in the process right now, but my English I think is too weak. I'm hoping that later on there are also elections in my native language. There maybe I would participate.
What's your native language, Lucas?
German.
Excellent. Hello, gentlemen. My name is Dan, and I am planning to participate today. And also
Hi.
in the process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Tanner, and I'm also participating, and I'm kind of in the same boat as Joe, and I'm just trying to observe the process, but I will offer my name as default. So yeah.
Yeah, it's the typical INTJ response. I don't know if you're INTJ, but yeah, I'll do it if nobody else wants to, and I'll do the best I can. Okay, cool. So, Dan, tell us, why you want to put your name forward and what that means to you and what you'd hope to accomplish.
Sure. So maybe I'll just give you a brief background. They say that people are not what they do for a living, but sometimes that's inextricable from what you turn out to be. I was the kid that had a Commodore 64 back in the day, and was learning how to do like basic at home and all that kind of nonsense. In college, I was running mainframe computers for an auto parts company. And so I was really fascinated with the timing of things and computers in general. The school that I went to for college also had a grant from IBM, so we had internet access pretty early on, and all that was neat. I had never become a super technical person, but I did fall into internet advertising in the late 90s, and I helped to prove out and beta test a lot of the advertising infrastructure that's used today by just about every single company, whether it's ad serving and tracking or videos or just basically how a website works. I tell people at my job that I'm sort of the problem solver because they come to me with things like the copy machine is broken, or my website is broken, or how do I put ads on YouTube? So the questions are all over the place. I've had a pretty long career doing this, and I've started two advertising agencies, which I'm not currently operating at this point, although I do have my company that I run some business through. But for the last 8 years, I have been the head of digital for a boutique advertising agency in New York City. And we work with a wide variety of clients, anything from Virgin Atlantic Airways to Sotheby's International Realty. And so my experience is pretty broad across advertising as well as technology. And one of the holes that I've always felt with the EOS software is advertising. And I had toyed with the idea many times of, hey, should I put together a worker proposal and figure out how to get some advertising funded? And the task just seems so monumental to take on by myself. So when this process came about, I thought, wow, this may be a good opportunity to put my hat in the ring and see if there is something that I can help contribute to. Because what I've found over the last couple of years is that I've become really disillusioned with the brands that I work on. And that's the hardest part of doing advertising, is that you have to believe in what you're working on. And a lot of this stuff I just don't agree with. So yeah, it still pays my bills and I'm grateful to be employed, but I'd rather be passionate about it. And that's going to make the difference between being in a flow state and enjoying what you're doing, or waking up every day and dreading having to go through the steps of your job, right? Tony Robbins had a great line. He said that your work can either be your passion or your occupation. And I would prefer that it is my passion, which is things like the Eden operating system, which I think can bring this democratic process not only to computers, but to a wider variety of applications, as Dan has laid out. So that's sort of a wordy summary of who I am. I'll tell you briefly, my other passions are around health and wellness. In 2010, I basically should have died. I needed to change everything about my health. So I went from an overweight, very unhealthy, angry person to a 47-year-old in a couple of days who's probably healthier than he's ever been in his life. And so I'm very fascinated by biohacking and upgrading health, meaning the internal health and the external health, whether it's something through meditation or naturopathic medicine or nutrition, lifestyle, etc. So yeah, I'm always looking for ways to upgrade the human experience, because at the end of the day, all we have is our health, right? Nothing else really matters.
Very cool. Thanks, Dan. It was Tanner, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, you guys are recording, right?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay. Make sure that if you put your name forward, you have to record.
I've got 2 recordings going. Hopefully one of them works. We'll see though.
All right, go ahead, Tanner.
Yeah, I guess I can share a bit. I've been kind of involved in the EOS space just as a developer. Um, I'm studying just computer science at university right now, and applied mathematics, and I'm in the middle of my finals right now too. But I didn't want to pass up on the opportunity to just see what this is like, and kind of just experience it, and take part in this test selection. And yeah, I mean, so far it's very, very free of association. I see there's not a lot of structure in these rooms, and we're kind of sharing, I guess, for 50 minutes, right? And then at the end, we just go back to the Telegram groups and then kind of vote there and do it over again. And there's like 3 rounds. And it's very interesting, and I just like to see the outcome. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me. And feel free to share next, Joe, if you'd like. I've passed the torch.
Okay. Yeah, thanks, Tanner. I kind of resonate with both of you guys. My background is mixed. I'm kind of the jack of all trades kind of guy, done all sorts of different things. Started getting into cryptos, but more of a user. I'm not a developer. I understand a little bit of code. I just like what it can do and what it offers us, and especially the freedom that it offers. I'm into public policy a little bit, and economics, that type of thing. So it kind of razzes me a bit. And EOS came out and it was like, oh yeah, this is the cat's meow. And just like Dan said, it's from day one. It was all community. It was great. It's exciting, but where's the push? Where's the marketing? And your words really resonated with me. It's like, talk about disillusion. Come on, this is like the best thing out here, and nothing is moving forward from the foundation like it should. So this organization is pretty exciting to me to see this happening. Early on in EOS, we ran when the mainnet first launched, we ran a proxy for a while. We were in the top 10 for a little while, but we didn't really market it and didn't push forward. We were just, like I said earlier, typical INTJ. We're here, we want to help, we want to do what we can to push things. But if there are better people for the job, then let's have them do it. So we just kind of left it there for people to use if they wanted to. And then as things kind of devolved, we didn't keep up real well. We kept the voting going, but it's really hard to track the block producers and stuff. So now we just see this opportunity for us to pull all this together because there's such a great community around it still. It's just, how do we get organized and use all this power that we have that's scattered as individuals and do it in more of a collective way. And I like the plan that Dan has come up with. We're trying to give us all a voice, and yet you still have to spearhead it, right? So anyways, having said all that, I'm going to withdraw myself from running, because you guys are great, and like I said up front, I don't need to do this. I want to see the best people put forward, and I'm real confident in what you guys have to offer. So that's my spiel. Lucas, do you have anything you want to add or share?
That's it. I'm also excited to explore this new way of governance building, consensus building. And yeah, I'm excited for the future, and hopefully we can have in the future German as well, so I could add more maybe. And yeah, nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you guys too. And don't withdraw yourself so soon, Joe. May I ask, are you able to share what organization you're sort of a part of that ran the proxy?
Oh, it was the Mentor Market. It's at the time it was a kind of a group of investors, and we just ran the proxy. It's a website that's kind of a hobby of mine. It suffers from lack of development and lack of marketing, so it's kind of a hobby. I can't really say it's a business, but anyway, yeah, we ran that for a little while. We had, I don't know, I really don't remember how many tokens we had voting through it. We made an impact initially, but I'd say within 6 months we became kind of irrelevant, if you will, because the others were getting up into the millions of tokens and we weren't competing. But yeah, it's the Mentor Market. You can look it up in the blockchain.
Yeah, it's cool.
You bring up a really good point in that the opportunity to be part of all these processes is quite unique. And the notion of a decentralized autonomous community or organization was pretty groundbreaking when I first came across it. And I'd like to think that it was BitShares, which was Dan Larimer's first project, that turned me on to that. I was a bit late to the game on that one, but when I got involved, I thought, this is just amazing, because I, in effect, own part of this because I have a voice and I delegate my vote to other people to make good choices. And there's still good communities there that are building things to this day. I think the price has rebounded a little bit, but that was the excitement that got me involved with EOS as well, and really sent me down a rabbit hole of investigating who Dan was and what he was up to. And as we were approaching the launch of the mainnet, in my mind, I was an owner of this project, right? Because I've got some skin in the game. In the same way that I like to tell people that I own an organic farm in Long Island, I don't, but I participate in a food co-op where I give them $500 and then they send me vegetables all year long. And I'm like, yeah, that's from my farm, you know? So I do kind of own it, but not really. I also like to tell people that I own a casino, right? Because I've got some dice tokens, which I think all that is really interesting. And it's a way for us to diversify. So yeah, that's one of the really exciting things that I found about this community in particular. Tanner, I'm curious what you've been developing on EOS. And I think, like Joe, I've probably know enough about coding just to get myself in trouble. Even though it's got a lot to do with how I make my living, I'm not super proficient at it, but I have taken a lot of the Ivan on Tech courses around EOS. I've gone through all the tutorials on the developer portal. I've even tried to do the game that Dan Larimer put together. I haven't been super successful at any of it, because what I found is that a lot of those tools were changing so quickly that it would just like jam me up, whether it was the IDE not working or a piece of code had changed or I didn't copy it right, or whatever it was. I'm just curious to hear about your experience.
Yeah, things are changing very rapidly, especially in this space. Just EOSIO with just Ethereum, and like any blockchain technology right now is is in a state of rapid iteration, and it's easy to just become obsolete. So I feel that kind of pain there. As to what I have been developing with EOSIO, I could say, I mean, there are a lot of things that fascinate me or attract me towards EOSIO, and to use that as just sort of a blockchain library as a part of your web application or other sort of application. In the first release, or the first year when EOSIO was released in like around 2018, I was mainly using it for side projects, building things, and just experimenting with the technology and seeing what it could be used for. Since then, I see the appeal of using EOSIO to just improve the overall security of your application, as having this blockchain library. EOS itself, the mainnet, is very diverse. It has, although there are a smaller number of block producers or validators in other chains, I find those block producers to be very just top notch at maintaining the uptime of the network. And the network, EOS has shown to be very resilient towards upgrades and towards just this rapid state of change that you mentioned. So just that robustness and the security I find valuable to add to an application. And since then, I've been working with a startup that has been building a social layer and using the EOS mainnet. So we're already on EOS mainnet. We have thousands of users using our app, and we're one of the biggest consumers of the EOS mainnet as well. And I just really like the work that we're doing there and focusing on improving many issues that we're seeing with blockchain today. The two biggest being compute and storage, which is an incredibly difficult problem, especially when you have a distributed system such as a blockchain, where you have untrusted nodes and you have data that's being replicated everywhere and is public and is free to be attacked by anybody there who has the incentive to attack any public network there is. So just the fact that EOS is still running today and that our application is still running today really speaks to that fact. And I hope that this initiative to build this sort of EOS community will help make the network even more robust and even more attractive for developers to come in and build applications on this network. And I find it very exciting. And I hope to build other projects as well. Yeah.
That's awesome. What is the application?
Yeah, it's so the name is yup.io. We're kind of building a social layer on top of Twitter, on top of Reddit, on top of all these other social platforms where you can just, in one line, I guess, earn crypto for rating things. but yeah, I think there's many exciting applications or use cases for Yup, and you can find us on DApp Radar or anything, any similar DApp Explorer. But yeah,
That's YELP.
YUP, Yup.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, not Yelp.
Yeah. I thought you said.
Yeah, I'm following you guys on Twitter, but I don't think I've read up enough about what you're doing.
Yeah,
I have to look that up.
awesome.
All right. Well, we're getting down to that voting thing, right?
Yeah,
And somehow we're gonna have to. At least 3 of us are gonna have to pick one guy. I'm not in charge here. I'm just trying to help facilitate. So, any other thoughts before we put forth our votes?
Yeah, just some logistics. I'm reading through, if we started at 10 a.m., I think discussion should last for 50 minutes, right?
Yeah, it can. It allows for that.
Okay, so it can be shorter.
There are people voting right now in Telegram. It's up to you guys. You know, there's nothing's really written in stone as far as that goes, as long as we have the discussion and come to consensus. The way I understand it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
how does the voting process? How does the voting process work again in Telegram?
If you open up your Telegram, I have mine open next to the screen here. So you can see what people are doing. You just put the room number and who you're voting for. Pretty simple.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, I checked this out.
Yeah.
Got it. So we come to consensus and then we post in Telegram who the candidate would be from our room 8.
Yeah, that's my understanding.
Okay.
do you think the public nature of this voting will affect the results?
I think it's bound to. There's pressure because we sit here and talk and you get to know each other a little and you start liking each other and now what?
And then we're gonna go and stab each other in the back.
That's kind of it, but I'll go ahead and stick my neck out here. I'm happy with both you guys. I'd really love to get behind both of you. Tanner's like me. He said that he'd be okay stepping back a little bit, and in my opinion, Dan has the experience and the vision, especially in a big pain point for the blockchain. So where I am right now, I think I'd put my vote behind Dan.
I appreciate that. And I echo your sentiment. I would just as easily put my vote behind Tanner if I didn't want to move on myself.
Right.
I think that's part of this process, right? Is that as we meet other people in the community who are passionate and have qualities that they can bring to the table, it's hard to say, hey, I wouldn't want that person to move forward, but for the fact that I myself want to move forward also.
And that's, it's a blessing to have to struggle with it. You don't want someone to be a shoo-in because everybody else sucks. It's like, yeah, we want to try to pick whoever's the cream of the crop. And both of you guys are better than me. That's why I withdrew so early.
No, I mean, since Dan did voice his willingness to move on, I am also inclined to put my vote behind Dan. And just from a marketing standpoint, with that experience, it might be valuable as a representative of the EOS community.
Yeah, we have so many developers, right?
Yeah, definitely.
You can't minimize the value, and yet, man, if we could get a few marketers getting together and pushing this thing, it sure would make a difference.
Appreciate that,
Anything
guys.
to add, Lucas?
Yeah, I also, from what I understood, would vote behind Dan. Good appearance, good arguments. And yes.
Very cool. So now we have whatever 20 minutes to talk about whatever else you guys want to talk about. Go ahead and put your vote in the room whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
We're room 8, in case you didn't notice.
Just counting the E's in the nickname of them at the end.
Oh man. Yeah. The 4 E's or 5? Okay, cool. Yeah, I gotta go check out yup.io now and see what this is about. We
So,
when we were working on Tim, we came across some of the software. You've probably seen it, Peepso. It's kind of a WordPress based social plugin, and so
what is
we
it
built
called?
a site, and we use the plugin that integrates it with the Hive blockchain, so that people have their own blogs and they can integrate with the Hive blockchain. But then there's also just the regular social aspect where you can just have chat and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with Hive. What was the extension called, or the plugin?
Oh, EXXP. The website we built was Scripsio, SCRIPS.io. And that's another hobby. You know, it sits there and it works, but we get a couple people pop on once in a while. But until you get that momentum, it's just a hobby.
Gotcha. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think you said Peepso or something like that
Peepso's
for
the plugin. Yeah,
the plugin.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a WordPress plugin. It works really well though. So yeah.
Yeah, I'll check that out. Thank you.
Yeah, the site that we built is Scripsio, scripts.io.
Scripts.io. Got it.
So I don't know if we're supposed to just sit here and wait for the 50 minutes to go up or close the meeting, or I'm not sure how it's supposed to work now.
Yeah, I was trying to read the document. I know that a bathroom break was mentioned someplace in there.
It is as soon as they close, but if that's an urgent need, feel free.
Not urgent yet.
Yeah. I think the bathroom break was you have like 30 minutes after this round or something to
Right.
upload the video and have go to the bathroom and do whatever.
Yep.
Tanner, I saw your Brooklyn t-shirt. Is that where you're located?
I am, yeah. You could really see that?
I caught a glimpse. Yeah, we're practically neighbors. I'm in Manhattan.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I know you mentioned you have a farm in Long Island. But yeah.
Yeah, cool. I lived in Brooklyn many years. Now it's super trendy to be in the worst parts of Brooklyn when I lived there.
Yeah, there's a great migration out of New York in general, but yeah.
Where are you, Joe?
I grew up in Arizona, but we're living in Chile now. We moved down here about 3 years ago just to experience the change. Country's kind of a mess now, so we're kind of wondering if we should head back to the U.S. But of course, I think it seems like every place is a mess now. So what do you do?
Really, in Chile? You're living in Chile?
See,
I have been there the last year.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah, during the pandemic, I got stuck in San Pedro de Atacama for 9 months, and then I was 3 other months in Santiago, and now I'm in Brazil.
Oh, okay. So you're the South American traveling German.
Yeah, actually, I'm Italian. I'm from a German-speaking minority in the north of Italy. So my native language is German, but the nation is Italian. And
So,
I'm traveling here since more than a year in South America, but just because of the Corona situation.
So you basically got stranded. You're kind of a refugee here, huh?
Yeah, but yeah, you can say like this. Yeah, but yeah, going home now.
You doing okay with that?
With?
Are you doing okay being stuck like that?
Yeah, it was no problem. So in San Pedro, there was no restrictions. That's the reason why I kept staying there. And other big cities in Chile, you know, maybe there was 2 times a week you could go out with the permission.
Oh yeah.
And so it was I had a good time there. And in Italy, the situation was much worse at the start of the pandemic. So I decided to stay in Chile first, and yeah, it was not that bad. And then winter came in Europe, and I decided to stay in the warm part of the world.
Well, good. What's your work, Lucas?
I was writer for a German online. I was writer for a German online magazine for cryptocurrencies.
Oh.
So I could travel and work at the same time.
And I assume that's in German, so we wouldn't really be familiar with it.
Yeah, it is in German. Yeah. I wrote quite some stuff. I think I wrote the most in the German crypto space. I was the guy who wrote most about EOS.
Cool.
How many languages?
Awesome.
Sorry?
How many languages do you speak?
Yeah, German is my native language, and I speak Italian, English, and yeah, a little bit Spanish meanwhile. And now I'm practicing Portuguese, but it's very hard. Portuguese. It's a Latin language as well, but the pronunciation is very far, I feel.
Yeah, that's a tough one. I grew up in Jackson Heights, Queens, which has a very high South American population. I learned how to speak Spanish pretty early on. What's interesting about that is different slangs depending on who you're talking to, whether it's a Puerto Rican or a Mexican or a Chilean. And the pronunciations are all different as well. But I guess they say that about like, from the South, you have a sounding accent.
Right.
Yeah, Chile is. Could you guys mute, which is not speaking, mute, please, because it's a back. Mute the microphone. Yeah, Chile is a pretty tough accent. It was very hard to understand at the beginning. Chile.
Yeah. By the way, Lucas, when you were writing or you said you wrote the most German writing about EOS. Is there a big, I guess, like community, or which community was that writing for? Is there a big, I guess, well, I guess there's a big German-speaking community then for EOS.
Unfortunately, not that big. I hope we will grow, and I think, in my view, the sentiment about EOS changed a lot, especially in the German community as well, because yeah, all of the FAT, and you know what happened the last years. So actually, the perception. So I think I was the only. There are several German-speaking crypto online magazines, but EOS got more and more neglected by them, not written about, nothing. For example, voice start and all these things, nobody wrote about anymore. Yeah, it's a bit sad. So the German-speaking community is not that strong right now, but I hope it's getting better. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I hope
think
so too.
the South America has a pretty strong community.
Yeah, very strong. I'm a big fan of the work that EOS Costa Rica and many others are doing, EOS Rio and all these other organizations. Yeah, I like how this is kind of a